Hello everyone, welcome to Cloudy MN. So today in this particular section, we will be discussing a data analyst project, a case study, which is based on the data set, which is based on Airbnb New York City data set. So the project name is Data Analysis Project on New York City Airbnb Open Data Set. So this is the link of the data set. We will provide this link in the description in case you need this project for practice. So what is the project all about? Let's jump to the problem statement directly what it is about. Given dataset include all information about the host, listed properties, geographical location, prices, reviews, and all other required matrices. Analyze the given dataset, make different predictions, and draw meaningful conclusions in order to grow the business. Also state what can we learn from different predictions. So there are a list of questions which is given to you. These are the columns of whatever columns is given in the dataset, like ID, which is the listing ID of the property, the name of the listed property, host ID, which is the ID of the property owner, host name of the property owner, neighborhood group, location at which the property is located, neighborhood, area in which the property is located, latitude and longitude, room type, the type of room, what it is, entire home, apartment, private room, shared room, what it is, price. This is the price of one night stay, minimum nights, amount of minimum nights stay at property. So this parameter, like it is wherever you book a Airbnb, or if you have booked, you know that there is a minimum requirement set that you can't book for one night. If in certain properties, there is a condition that you can't book for one night. You have to book for minimum 2 or 3 nights. Okay, so this is that condition. Number of reviews, last reviews per month, calculated host listings count, availability 365. So this availability 365 is number of days when listing is available for booking. Like if it is 365, it is available for all 365 days. If it is 0, that means in a particular year, it is, busiest. Okay. So the business benefits for the analysis is by analyzing the data, customer can make several decisions about their journey and the location. Customer could take idea about expenses for the accommodation and which room to prefer in the particular area during journey. Finding the perfect location for night stay and the most preferred Airbnb property according to previous customer reviews will be easy. This report can attract the customer who wanted to plan a trip but not visited that place before by checking about the location and number of options available for the homestays. This report may increase reputation and company revenue growth along with other businesses by increasing tourism. So what are the list of questions that we'll be solving is here. We have around 9 questions. We will make the plot for these questions and we will finally build a dashboard. Okay. So let's start the project. I'll open Tableau. So first I'll import the dataset. Since this is a CSV file, you have to select text document. If you select this one, Microsoft Excel file, it won't come. Okay, if you have the XLS file, that means if there are various sheets inside a CSV or Excel file, in that you can choose this option. But if you have a single sheet that is a CSV file, you have to import it as text file. So this is the data set. We will provide this data set in the descriptions. So let's open it. So we have the data set here. As I told you, there are columns like ID, name, host ID, host name, neighborhood, this is neighborhood group, and this is neighborhood, latitude, longitude, room type, the price, the minimum night, reviews, last review per customer, I think this is review per month. Okay, calculated host, what is this? Okay, we'll check this column what it is, and availability 365. So let's jump to the sheet. What is the first question? First requirement is in which neighborhood group there is maximum number of properties listed. Since they are asking for neighborhood group, what we'll do is we'll take this neighborhood group column, we'll drop it in columns. And since they are asking us for like whichever neighborhood group there are maximum number of properties, what we will do is we basically have to take the count. So in Tableau, what you need to find out the count is you have to create a calculated field, and this we will name it as number of properties, or we'll name it as, since it is a calculated field, we will name only neighborhood group count. Okay, so what we need to do is we basically need to count it. So I'll write count and I'll write the column name, that is neighborhood group. So it is a calculation is valid. I'll click on OK. So what we'll do is we'll take this and drop it in rows. So we get a bar plot. Here you can see that it is taking the aggregate value, but we don't want the aggregate value. Okay, we want the sum. So we will change the measure. Okay, it's automatically that only. Okay, it's taking the sum only. Its aggregation is basically sum only. If it is average, then we need to make it as sum. Okay, this gives the count of properties in that particular area. So we'll change this name. Since it is neighborhood group count, as we have given the name, we'll change it and we'll name it as number of properties. Okay. So this thing has changed to number of properties, and this is the neighborhood group. If you want to remove this, you can remove it by hide variables. Okay, so this particular thing is removed. The first plot we have drawn it successfully, that is in which neighborhood group there is maximum number of properties listed. So we can see that in Manhattan there is maximum number of properties listed. Okay, let's expand this. Okay, since it is Manhattan, it is having the minimum number of properties listed. Second one is Brooklyn, third one is Queens, and then we have Bronx, and some are in Staten Island. Okay, let's plot the second plot. In like the second question is which host has maximum number of properties listed. Okay, so we have to find the host name who is having the maximum number of properties listed. So what we will do is we'll take host name, we'll drop it in suppose columns. So we'll have various hosts name here, and what we need to do is we have to find that which host is having maximum number of properties listed. So here again we'll create a calculated field and we'll count the host name. So we'll write here count host name. So again we'll repeat the similar step. Okay, and then what we'll do, we'll drop this fill in rows. So you can see here these are the hosts who are having the maximum number of properties listed. But since we want only the top values, that is which host has the maximum, so we'll take maximum as 5 here. Okay, so we'll filter it and we'll take the top. So this is the filter, how we can filter values. You don't want all the values here. Okay, since there are a number of values, we don't want all these values. We only want the top 5. So we'll click on host name, click on filter, and we'll select the top. There are various options also here for filter, like general, wildcard. This is like for strings it is. This is like if you want the host name whose name is starting with D, then we have to choose this wildcard option and click on start with, and further you can check the options based on some condition. If you want to check, like if it is greater than what you want to put, like these are the various methods to filter the values. Since we want the top 5, we'll click on top by field, top 5, and what will apply in which column? Count host name. Since we created a calculated field with counting the host name, so we have to apply here as count host name. Tableau by default takes this value only, but if you want to change it, you can choose from here. Okay, click on apply. So we get the top 5 hosts here who is having the maximum number of properties listed. So Michael is having the highest number of properties listed. So we'll change this also to number of properties. Okay. You can remove this host name if you want. Okay. So the second question is also done. Let's check the third plot, what we need to plot. Which host has maximum properties listed in neighborhood group having, which host has maximum properties listed in neighborhood group having maximum properties there. So what we need to do in this one, first we need to find which neighborhood group is having the maximum number of properties listed. Since we already found out that was in Manhattan, and then from Manhattan we have to take out the host name who is having the highest number of properties listed from there. Okay, so let's repeat the steps similar for the first one as we have done. Neighborhood group. Okay, and then we put neighborhood group count. So we'll get Manhattan as the top. Okay. You can do one thing is you can filter out only Manhattan from here. Okay. So let's select filter. Let's take only Manhattan and remove all the other values. Okay. So we got the top neighborhood group, and from here we will find out the maximum number of properties listed in which host name it is. So what we will do is we will take host name. We'll drop it over here in columns. Okay. Since there are many values, but we want only top 5, let's take 5. So we'll write filter, we'll click filter and add, and we'll choose top by field, top 5, and based on neighborhood group count. No. Why no? Because we want the host name, top host, not top like neighborhood group count. So we had created one calculated field called count of host name. So we'll apply here this one and click on OK. So what we get is this plot. So these are the values, like these are the hosts who is having the maximum number of properties listed in Manhattan. That is the having the most number of properties. So you can remove this, and this name you can change it to number of properties. Okay. So the third question is also done. Which host has maximum number of properties listed in neighboring group having maximum properties listed? So maximum properties are listed in Manhattan, and from Manhattan, these are the hosts who is having the maximum number of properties listed. First one being this one, Sonder NYC. Okay. Let's jump to the third plot. The third plot is what is the average price in different properties listed? Okay, what is the average price in different properties listed? So based on property listing, like you can check, you can take room type. Okay, based on room type, you need to calculate the price. Okay, so these are the prices based on room type, based on different properties listed. Okay, for entire home to pay. So since here it is sum, we'll change it to average, because sum will give you the entire summation of the values having entire home apartment, but we want the average pricing. So we'll choose here measure average. So you can check here the average price for entire home apartment is high. Okay, it's around $210. Private, it's around $90, and shared room, it's around $70. So you can change this name as price. Okay. The room type, you can remove it because we have this label here as entire home private room shared. Okay. So based on the average price we have in different properties listed, we have this particular bar plot. So next question what we have is, what may be the reason of having high price in that neighborhood group? In which neighborhood group they are talking about? They are talking about Manhattan. Why in Manhattan there is high pricing? Okay. Or you can say, sorry, it's related to question number 4. Okay. What is the average price in different properties listed? So the question arises here is, what is the reason that the pricing of the hotel is high in that neighborhood group? So what we'll do is, we'll come to this plot. Okay. And it's asking what is the average price in different properties listed. Sorry, we don't have to put entire home here because based on neighborhood group, it's asking why the pricing in Manhattan is high. Okay. So the plot number 4 will change it. We'll change it to this one, that what is the average price in different properties listed. So based on this, we have to find out why the average price of properties in Manhattan is high. It's around $195, you can say. Why it is high, we need to find out the reason. Okay. So for that, we'll draw a plot as to find why the price is high in that Manhattan. So what we'll do is, we'll take this neighborhood group, we'll drop it here. We'll take price and we'll drop it here. Okay. Let's expand this. Now what we'll do is, we'll take the room type column and we'll drop it in columns. So you can see here an amazing result that in Manhattan have most number of entire home apartment. Okay. In Manhattan, we have most number of entire home or apartment. Based on, like in other areas, we don't have that many entire home. So that's why the pricing is high in Manhattan. So this plot clears that. We'll remove this. Okay. The price over here, this is the average price. We'll change it to average price. Okay. So this question is clear, that what may be the reason of having high price in that neighborhood group? Because in this neighborhood group in Manhattan, we have the highest number of entire home apartment. That's why the pricing is high. Okay. So let's jump to the sixth plot. The sixth plot is, what is the most preferred room type in every neighborhood group? So what we'll do for this plot, we'll take neighborhood group, we'll drop it in columns. Okay. The question is asking what is the most preferred room type in every neighborhood group. And what we'll take room type, we'll drop it in columns, and most preferred room type. So we'll take number of reviews for this one, because if they like the room type, they'll give good reviews, right? So we'll take this number of reviews and we'll drop it in rows. So you can check here that the question was, what is the most preferred room type in every neighborhood group? So the result is, in Manhattan, the most preferred room type is entire home apartment. In Queens, the most preferred room type is private room. In Staten Island, the most preferred room type is entire apartment or home. In Brooklyn, the most preferred room type is entire home or apartment. And in Bronx, the most preferred room type is private room. Okay, we'll remove this. And this one, number of reviews, we'll change it again to, so you can take this here as sum. Have a business understanding of this problem. Why we are taking sum here, not average? Because it's asking for number of reviews. So you can take it sum. You can't take average number of reviews. Okay. because we are counting the number of reviews, how many customers gave review. So we can't take average in that case. We have to take the sum of number of reviews. Okay. So let's change this name to reviews. Okay. So this is the plot. So the question is clear that what is the most preferred room type in every neighborhood group. So these are the results. Next question is, total availability of properties having different room type. Okay. So let's take the room type column and drop it in columns and availability. So we are having one column at availability 365. This shows that in like how many number of days in a year a particular property is available. So you can check the I'll read out the question for you again. Total availability of properties having different room type. So the count, whichever is high, that is most available, because, and again here it is taking as sum, but here we need to take it as average. I hope this one is clear why we are taking average, because it's out of 365 how many number of days it is available. Okay, if you are taking sum, okay, it will keep on adding 365. Okay, so the number of days will increase, but we need the average value. Okay, so here you can see that out of 365 days, shared room is available the most number of times in a particular year. Okay. The entire home apartment and this private room is available mostly same. Like availability 365, it's mostly same. So we'll check, rename this as number of available days. We can write here as year also. Like in a year we have 365 days. Mostly how many number of days it is available out of 365. This is that. So let's rename this as number of available days only. Okay. So this is it. So shared room is available most number of times, like most number of days. The next plot is, which one is the busiest host? So who is the busiest host? Who is having the least number of availability? That is the busiest host. So what we need to do is, we'll take host name, we'll drop it in text. Okay. So we'll get the name of all the hosts. So who is the busiest host? Okay, you can write this one. Which one is the busiest host? Okay. Sorry. Okay. Which one is the busiest host? So for this, we need to find out like availability 365. Okay. The least number of days available, that is around 0 days available, whoever host is. So that is like the busiest host. So what we'll do is we'll click on this, we'll filter. As I told you, we need to find out top, like whoever is having, we are not taking here as top. Why? If we take the top values, so out of 365, if it is 365, 360 is the highest value. That means that particular host is free all the days. Okay. So that means he's not busy, he's free all the days. So we'll take the bottom values. Bottom, let's say 5 hosts will take based on availability 365. Okay. And we'll take the average value, not sum. Because as I told you, for this one, if we sum it, 365 plus 365, it will really be high. So we are taking the average value. So these are the hosts, okay, who won 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have put the bottom 5 values. Who is the busiest host? So these hosts are the busiest hosts. If you want to change the size of this, what you can do is you can right click, you can click on format, and you can increase the size. Okay, if you want to change the font, you can change that also. Let's choose black only. Okay, these are the busiest hosts. Next question is, which properties maximum number of reviews? Okay, let's rename this. Which property has maximum number of reviews? Okay, which property has maximum number of reviews? So we'll take the property name. If we have, okay, we have this name. We'll take the property name and we'll find out who is having the maximum number of reviews. Number of reviews. Okay, you can take here as sum. Why? Number of reviews, it's a countable measure. We are not taking the average number of reviews here, because if a particular property has got 10 reviews, okay, next time if he is giving 15, we add it. Okay, we'll not average it. So we are taking sum, and what we need to do is we'll filter it based on top by field, top 5 properties. Let's find who's having the highest number of reviews by sum. Okay, so these are the 5 properties who are having the highest number of reviews. Let's change it. Okay, this one is good. So these are the 5 properties who are having the highest number of reviews. The first one being private bedroom in Manhattan. Okay, you can adjust this size according to you. Okay, let's remove this name from here, and this one is reviews. Okay, so finally all the questions are done, and we'll finally plot a dashboard for this. I'll not go much detail into how we'll plotting the dashboard. Okay, I'll just show you basically like in basic mode how we can plot a dashboard. But before that, let's give the name of the sheets. That is, the first question is, in which neighborhood group there are maximum number of properties listed. Okay. Okay. The next one is, which host has maximum number of properties listed. We are getting this W here, that's why I'm putting a space here, because if you put a space, this one gets removed. The third one is, which host has maximum number of properties listed. Okay, this one in neighboring group. We found out that in Manhattan we had the maximum number of properties, and then from there we found out the host in which the maximum number of hosts who are having the maximum number of properties. Question number 4 was, what is the average price in different properties listed? So the average property listing in Manhattan, the price was high. Okay. Okay. The next question was, what may be the reason of having high price in neighborhood? Why? Because we found out that in Manhattan, there are more number of like entire home apartments. Okay. Next question was, what is the most preferred room type in every neighborhood group? So the most preferred room type was this one. Based on reviews, we found out that what is the most preferred room type. So we found out that in Manhattan, entire home or bedroom was most preferred. In Brooklyn, we had entire home. In Queens, we had private room as most preferred. Okay. The next question was total availability of properties having different listing. Okay, this is it. So finally, we have all the plots where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9 questions. We have 9 plots. So let's plot the dashboard. Okay. Click here on floating. Okay, don't click on tiled. Click here on floating. You'll get smaller images here. Okay. So let's put the first plot here. The first plot is in which neighborhood group there are maximum number of properties listed. So we saw that in Manhattan, there were maximum number of properties listed. You can adjust this size according to you. Okay. As I told you, I'm just drawing the basic one. Okay. Which host has the maximum number of properties listed? So Michael had the maximum number of properties listed. Okay. The third sheet was which host has the maximum. Okay, one. Let's put it here. So we saw that this plot was which host has a maximum number of properties listed, having maximum properties listed. So in Manhattan, this one, Sonder NYC, was having the maximum number of properties listed. Okay. Sheet number 4. What is the average price in different properties listed? So the average price in Manhattan was high. Okay, this is the average pricing. Okay. If you click here and go to sheet, so we have chosen average price. Okay. Sheet number 5. Okay. Suppose, okay, you don't want the plot to be like this. You want it horizontal. You can make it horizontal also by go to sheet, we change the orientation. So if you change the orientation here in the dashboard also, the orientation will be changed. Okay. So we saw here, this question was, what may be the reason of having high price in that neighborhood group? So we saw that in Manhattan, there were most number of entire home apartment. That's why the price was high. What you can do is here, you can change the orientation back to that horizontal mode. Okay, so in the dashboard also it will be changed. This one looks okay. This one is the pricing. If you want to decrease this space, you click here, go to sheet, and then decrease the space. This space, just decrease it. Okay. So this is it. So we have this pricing here. Now all the plots are filled for this dashboard. What we'll do is we'll create one new dashboard. In that we'll draw the rest of the plots. Okay. Okay, I clicked here a sheet. Let's delete this. Click on new dashboard. Okay. This one is dashboard number 1. Okay. So next dashboard is sheet number 6. This is having most preferred room type in every neighborhood group. Let's plot this here. Since this plot is big. Okay. Most preferred room type in every neighborhood group. So this is the plot for that. This one is total availability of properties having different room type. How many number of days it is available. Okay. So shared room is available the most number of times. This one is for that. The next plot is which one is the busiest host. So we had this many busiest hosts, this ANH, AR, and Akash, and this one. We had taken 5, right? Top 5 filters. Show filter. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. You can decrease this size. And increase this one size. The next plot is the last one. Which property has maximum number of reviews? So we saw here that this one private room in Manhattan had the highest number of reviews. So this is the simple dashboard which I have made. Okay, 2 dashboards. The first one is having the first 5 question solution. This one's in which neighborhood group there is a maximum number of properties listed. So in Manhattan, we had the highest number of properties listed. Question number 2 was which host has maximum number of properties listed. So we saw that Michael is having the highest number of properties listed. The third question is what may be the reason of having high price in that neighborhood group. So in Manhattan, why the pricing is high? Okay, because in this plot, what is the average price in different properties listed? We saw that in Manhattan, there was high pricing. So why in Manhattan there is high pricing? Because we have most number of entire home apartments here. Okay, because of that, the pricing is high. Okay. Next one is which host has maximum properties listed in neighborhood group having maximum properties listed. So we saw that in Manhattan, we had the highest number of properties. And from there, we have this one, Sonder NYC, who is having the maximum number of properties listed. The next one is total availability of properties having different room type. So here we have taken the availability 365 column. Based on that, we saw that shared room is available most number of times. Which one is the busiest host? So we saw that ANH, AR, Akash, and we have taken the 5 busiest host. Next one is which property has maximum number of reviews. So we saw that private room in Manhattan is having the highest number of reviews, around 666 reviews. This one is the sum of reviews, not average. Next one was what is the most preferred room type in every neighborhood group. So we saw that in Bronx, we have most number of private bedrooms, like private apartments. The next one is Brooklyn, in which we saw entire home or apartment is the most number. So in Manhattan also we had entire home apartment. Means we had private rooms, most number of private rooms. In Staten Island, we saw that we had entire home or apartment as most number. Okay. This one is most preferred room type. What people prefer, this plot is for that. Okay, so we are done with the dashboard. I hope you liked it. And if you want any more further projects, do comment down below so we can have a look at your comments and make projects according to that. Okay, thank you.